I know that things are going to change one day. I know that one day everything's going to be okay. But right now, things are really tough for a lot of people. This is not all that there is. There is a much bigger picture to life. Life is not just a series of days connected together or events connected together that have no meaning, no purpose. This is not all that there is. There is a much bigger purpose to life, and we all need things to put our energy toward. We need hope. We need a vision of the future. We need that bigger and better future to work toward. We need to understand things like eternity. We need to understand what it would be like to have a relationship with God. This is not all that there is. And once we start thinking this is it, this is all there is, just this disconnected series of events in life, we start losing hope. And as never before, we are heading into a mental health crisis, something like I have never seen. I mean, all the indications are that we're moving in that direction, that we're looking at things like increases in addictions, in vices, in abuse. This is child abuse and spousal abuse, as well as abuse like alcohol abuse, substance abuse. Suffering just seems to be on the increase. It's on the rise right now. People simply are in pain. Now, there are opportunities in this. We only change when we are in crisis. That's when we change. When our pants don't fit anymore, we go on a diet. But as long as we're comfortable, we don't change. Right now, nobody is comfortable. So there are some great opportunities to change, to do some really good things, to make some really good habits, and to teach others how to do the same thing. So on this video, we're going to talk about the DAD scale, the difference above dead scale. Real quickly, how it came to be, but how you apply it to your life, because it absolutely can make a difference in each and every one of your relationships. Once upon a time, a young lady walked into my office. I had known her since she was very young, and she was dating a guy who was a legitimate war hero guy. And she really, really loved this guy, but he had a problem. He was very jealous, and he had a temper. So she walked in one day, and now I'd known her since she was really young, so now she's like 30. She walks in one day and she says, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure whether to move forward in this relationship or call it off, or I just don't even know how to think about this. So I asked her, I said, when you're not around him, what's it like? And I walked over to my whiteboard behind me over there, and I just made a line with a 0 in the middle of the line. I put a plus 100 on one side and a minus 100 on the other side, and it's still up there. And I asked her the question. I said, when you're not with him, let's call that a 0. He has 0 input in your life at that moment because he's not there. So when he's not with you, let's call it a 0. And when you are with him, what value would you give that? Would you say it's a plus 20, a plus 50, a minus 10, a minus 2? I mean, what value would you give that? And she says to me, when I'm with him, it's a minus 75. Well, that was surprising to me, as it might have been to you, for her to say something like that, minus 75. So yeah, I said to her, so your life could be 75 fantasy points better by doing what? And she said, just wait right here. And she walked out of my office, walked down to her truck, picked up her phone, made a call, came back to my office, sat down and said, my life is now 75 fantasy points better. Well, it reminded me of so many things people had said to me about how sometimes there are people in life that you're really excited when they walk into the room, and sometimes you're really excited when somebody else is leaving the room, right? That a number of people have grown up in situations where when dad came home, if he came home drunk, they did not want to be around him. It was a minus 75 or a minus 100. And other people, their dad came home after work and it was a plus 50. It was a plus 75. They were so glad to see him. So I wondered where I would be on that scale. Susie and I have been married for 38 years. I wondered what kind of a difference I was making in her life. And Grant's still at home. He's getting ready to go off to college. I wondered what kind of a difference I was making in his life. Or for my kids who are grown and living in Portland or Phoenix, what kind of a difference am I making in their life or in the lives of their spouses or their kids? So I had that scale up there on my board and I was just looking at it. And I said, when I die, I will have the input value for my family of a 0. I won't be around. So that'll be a 0. So how do I make a difference above being dead in the lives of the people that I love every day? How can I be a plus 20, a plus 50, or better in the lives of everybody that I love and never be a minus 10, a minus 20, a minus 50 in their life? Not any day. Have it be a minus value. How can I do that? How can I live my life in such a way that I'm making a difference above being dead? You wouldn't think that's a real high standard, and yet you and I both know there are times when us being around, it's a minus value in other people's lives. And that's what we want to change. That's what we want to become very aware of. We want very much every day in every relationship that we have with the people that we love, the people we work with, the people we live next door to, people that we meet at the gas station. How do we make a difference in their lives above being dead? So that's what I'd ask you to be very aware of right now, at these times where everybody's under pressure. Everybody is. You are, your spouse is, your kids are, the guy across the street is. Everybody is under more pressure than maybe ever before. Think about how you can make a positive difference into their life, because you are right there, right now, in their life. You're not dead. You're not 1,000 miles away. You are right there. How can you make a positive difference in their life? How can you speak words of encouragement to them? How can you speak life to them? How can you love them so much that it brings life into their world? How can you bring a positive value to them? How can you make a difference above being dead? There's a great verse written by St. Paul 2,000 years ago. He says, "Don't let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what's helpful for building other people up according to what it is that they need, so it can benefit the listener." Not only is it important that we get these kinds of principles down and really apply them to our lives every day, but also then to teach other people. How do you teach other people to make a difference in their life above being dead? How does your business make a difference in the world above being closed? How does the work that you do when you go to work make a difference in people's lives above having stayed home that day? How do we make a difference in people's lives above being dead? Well, I'm Dr. Doug Cowan. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to watch the previous videos if you haven't seen them yet. And we're going to be putting out a couple of videos every week at this point.